Okay. But when I get here, it's a... This is stupid. All y'all is stupid. Stupid racist bitches. That's what the fuck y'all is. And yeah, yelling and being and opening your mouth to make you uneducated and unprofessional.
On July 16, 2025, Miami airport deputies responded to a disturbance. A passenger wearing a pink robe angrily confronted Spirit Airlines staff. She hurled insults and accusations of racism after being denied boarding due to a dress code violation.
Denied boarding.
I got boarded on this plane. I got boarded on this plane. I didn't do nothing to you. I got boarded on this plane. I got
The deputy
checked in.
approached the second passenger, the woman's sister, inside the jet bridge. She was on the phone, claiming she had already checked her bag and boarded. Staff asked her to put on pants because her shorts were unacceptable.
He boarded me on. I'm confused. My bag on this plane. I'm sorry. I'm upset right now. Because they just made a bigger deal than what it was. I have been like this in my room. I have for 30 minutes we've been waiting here. I had my robe closed when I first came, but when we was getting up, I forgot to close my robe.
Back at the gate, the passenger in the pink robe explained her frustration. She claimed she simply forgot to close her robe, which exposed her shorts. Since her luggage was checked, she had no other clothes to change into.
You don't have your a seat on your thing. We got to find you a seat. I say that's fine. Can you print my boarding pass? He go no, since you want to be rude and ignorant and all this and all that. So you want to be disrespectful to me? I could be disrespectful to you. So yes, I did make a scene because they want to make a scene.
The passenger admitted to making a scene, but blamed the airline employees for being disrespectful first. She felt targeted and threatened when staff told her they would ensure she wouldn't fly.
Well, here's the thing, right? Let's just go ahead and just kind of set the stage for this whole thing. Because in my opinion, I think that is wild to, what is that? Suede? I think it's wild to just even come on a plane with a robe on anyway. A robe? I think when you're like literally a robe. I think when you have a robe on like that, that can give the perception, especially if we haven't seen what you got under the robe. For all we know, you could be nude under that robe, which is still unacceptable. I think that's the point of robes, to be able to put them on real quick when you're nude. So dismissing what she has on under that robe, I mean, it looks like a workout outfit. That's what the ladies dress like now. It's a lot more skimpy. There's ways to make things be acceptable, even though it's still skimpy, especially at the gyms, because honestly, people don't really go to the clubs and stuff like that anymore. Now the new club is the gym. So the same way you used to see people put on, skimpy outfits or whatever in order to be enticing at the club or in those type of social environments, now it's adapted to the gym. And so she's wearing like a little gym outfit. Hers, now you have to be aware of your body composition as well. Listen, some people, the way that their body is, it might look acceptable by society standard. I think it's all skimpy, in my opinion. But then if you got it everything hanging out and all that type of stuff, then now it looks a little crazy, right? So you have to be aware of that. But I just don't understand why we think it's acceptable to be wearing our robes and our bonnets at the airport to begin with. But let's get back into the situation. Y'all, before we do though, if you could like the video, I would greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's really just a click. Really just a click. So if you're here anyway, then you might as well click that like button. And also if you can hype the video as well.
But blamed the airline employees for being disrespectful first. She felt targeted and threatened when staff told her they would ensure she wouldn't fly. The deputy listened calmly to her side.
That's fine. If they're going to reimburse me and pay for me a flight to another airline, that's fine.
Just hear me out. If they say you're not flying, you're not flying. I don't know what you're talking about. Obviously, I got to hear you someone. I got to hear I'm talking to you. I'm getting your side.
The deputy explained that airlines are private businesses and enforce their own dress codes. However, the passenger argued there was a double standard. pointing out that her sister wore similar shorts
But I don't
without issue
understand the
until the
problem. Like,
employees
this is
intervened
like
today.
crazy because I set up.
I thought I saw the sister with similar shorts on too. But again, if your sister is that light-skinned girl, y'all have two totally different body compositions, as well as you drew a lot of attention with that very flamboyant robe, which already makes people think, does she have on bottoms under that robe? Is she really about to try it? It's like it's like if you just saw a grown man, a big old grown man with a trench coat coming to the airport, and his trench coat hangs all the way down right above his knees, and then you see his hairy legs sticking out of the trench coat, and you like, is this dude got anything? You know what I'm saying? So you got that robe on. It's pink, it's flashy, it's flamboyant. It draws a lot of attention. And again, I think a good rule of thumb, man, when you leave your house, come on now, be presentable. That's an indication on whether or not you were raised right. But this is what we typically see more times than not.
Pointing out that her sister wore similar shorts
But I don't
without issue
understand the
until the
problem. Like,
employees
this is
intervened
like
today.
crazy because I sat up there. I watched him. The minute I got to the register, he came up in here. He told her to say something to me about my shorts. I'm sitting here watching everybody walk past in their shorts. But when I get here, this is stupid.
Do you want a police report? Do you want a police
Not on
report?
y'all. Stop talking to me. Like, for real.
Where do you only?
Why am I not getting the flight? Can we?
Back up.
Okay, but can we get their names?
The woman in the pink robe demands a police report and the names of the airline staff. Meanwhile, her sister in the black jacket sits nearby, crying and expressing intense frustration about being left completely alone to figure things out.
Up there to say I'm gonna talk to you, and you gotta figure it out on your own. If I can't get a flight, I need to go home. If I'm not getting a flight booked, how is she helping me?
Okay.
But she just kicked me off the flight for absolutely no reason. So that is why I won't.
So real quick, sidebar real quick. So what type of trip do you think her and her sister was taking? Do you think it was a trip or just a wholesome trip to go see some family? Or do we think this was an excursion? This was one of them hot girl summer trips. I would bet it was a hot girl summer trip. And see, with these trips that a lot of y'all be taking, I wouldn't even be surprised if they got flown out. With a lot of these trips that y'all be taking, we just got to be honest. These trips y'all go on and you know you're broke. You're going on these trips and you know you don't have no money saved. You know that you live, it's past paycheck to paycheck. In order to still pay your bills, you still got to try to figure something out, work something out, rob Peter to pay Paul in order to just get everything paid. And a lot of times still extend debt cycles and go into debt. And so a lot of these ladies will be going on these trips. And then this is why you see so much. Think about it. You see more and more situations like this happen at the airports where you see people acting a fool when anything happens with their flight. It doesn't just have to be that they're getting kicked off. It also can happen as far as maybe the flights get canceled for whatever reason, which that happens very commonly. And then they're like, no, I can't stay here any longer. Basically, if I don't leave when on this trip when I was designed to, I will be effectively homeless while I'm waiting for another flight. And then what also happens is when you have to book another flight, now they're not just going to get you a new flight and exchange the tickets. No, you got to book another flight. And now you got to book with the current rates. And if you've ever tried to book a flight, a day in advance or that, a flight on short notice, those prices are much more expensive because obviously if you're booking on short notice, then there's a reason, there's some urgency. So it's not going to just break even. And it sucks that can happen. But in this case, this was all of your own doing. If you know that you're broke, then don't take any chances to where you can get flagged and ultimately end up not being able to go on the flight for this type of avoidable reason.
Okay.
But she just kicked me off the flight for absolutely no reason. So that is why I want her name. Now, one thing about
The distraught sister claims she brought pants when asked, but was still unfairly removed from the aircraft. She angrily questions how the staff is helping them, feeling targeted, and repeatedly stating that Tillis' entire situation is completely unjustified and wrong.
See, this is how you know this is just dusty all the way across the board. Look at this.
That Tillis' entire
She done made. So how did this is what I want to know. This is what I want to know. I just flagged something, y'all. How do you have on a Versace robe, which you're trying to ultimately display that, you're opulent or whatever? You're well off. You got on a Versace robe. You just had to wear your Versace robe so everybody could see you had a Versace robe. But then it looks like her carry-on bag is a Shein bag. Look, do you see the little Shein bag sitting beside her? How you So she didn't just have a regular carry-on luggage bag. She done took, allegedly, a Shein bag. Does that say Shein? That look like a Shein bag. And she got that as her carry-on bag to put her little whatever else in there. But you got on a Versace robe. Why do we take
entire
these
situation is completely unjustified and wrong.
when you're upset, of course your voice gonna be projected. But because you're not mad, you're fine. Of course our voice gonna be projected.
I'm
Y'all not
trying to
understanding
explain
it.
to you, but you don't let anybody talk. You just scream at everybody.
I don't wanna. She just told me.
The officer attempts to defuse the escalating situation, but the women continue yelling. The deputy then presents two clear choices: calm down and find an alternative flight, or be officially kicked out of the airport due to their disruptive behavior.
I'm telling you right now, you have two options. You have two.
Officially kicked out of the airport doesn't mean just for today. Why are y'all taking these type of chances? It's like, doesn't it always seem like people just get worse and worse and worse until you ultimately just put them consequences on them directly? It's like you really want this to happen to yourself. No, first of all, the airport is not the place to start hooping and hollering, as well as them consequences you're going to get are going to be effectively permanent. And so you can't get a grip on yourself. You're going to end up never being able to enter the airport again. And it's not going to be worth it. So I don't understand why people can't just get a grip when you're warning them. And especially, come on now, you know what's going on. You done seen enough situations to know what can happen at these airports and that you can get banned and put on a no-fly list. But people just have to figure it out. And it's because, like I said, allegedly, what do you think it could be that could have you fighting so hard like this? The only thing that could have you fighting so hard like this, even at your own expense, is if you don't got no other options. And by no other options, you broke. And if you have to stay here, I wouldn't be surprised if you see her looking at the phone. I wouldn't be surprised if she's looking at them other flights. She's like, my original flight, I paid for it a month in advance. It was only $150. I'm looking at these flights for today and the next day. They say $1,000. I wouldn't be surprised she's looking at that. She's like, oh no, this is going to be impossible for us to get home. Well, stop going on these trips and you broke with no savings.
Kicked out of the airport due to their disruptive behavior.
I'm telling you right now, you have two options. You have two options. Option one is you calm down and find a flight with another airline. No. Option two is I kick you out of the airport.
The women protest, arguing they have.
I told you that's what it was. I told you that's what it was. She just came out with it. I knew that's what it had to be. So what we just found is exactly what I said it was. They don't got no money. They don't got no money. See, we be looking at it. We be thinking, oh, they just irate and they're just, wild or whatever. No, this is desperation. And it might be more manipulative than what you think. And when I say manipulative, Oh my goodness. Whatever. When I say that, I'm just saying you might see people where it'll seem like they're having emotional reactions. It could even be you in a situation with your girl and she start crying. And really she just knows it's because you're gonna react every time she start crying. And because maybe she throughout her whole life, she noticed that whenever she starts crying, everybody starts laying out the carpet and trying to basically calm it down. So that's a mechanism that she knows that she can revert to in order to ultimately escape accountability in the moment. And so, what we find a lot of other people like to do is when they're in desperate situations or when they just don't got no money or whatever, they feel like they can lash out at people and basically act a fool and ultimately exhaust you to the point to where you would rather figure out what you can do on your end to resolve their own situation as opposed to have to continue to deal with them because it's just draining you and it just seems like it's never going to be resolved, and you know it's never going to be resolved until you ultimately take some type of action, some type of step, next step. So they're going to see this all the way through because, like I said, their back's against the corner. If they're not able to get on another flight that is free, they are about to be effectively homeless and they're not going to be able to solve this problem. Look at her face. This is real. Look at the light skinned one's face. This is really real. This is a real situation as far as, okay, if we can't get on this flight, man, what are we going to do? So optimistic, never can see what risk.
Option 2 is I kick you out of the airport.
The women protest, arguing they have no money and do not live in Miami. The officer stands firm, stating he cannot allow them.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you what type of trip this was? Bro, I promise you I did not see this situation. I did not watch this video. It'd be funny too. People be like, oh, he's so judgmental. He's making assumptions. Yeah, because a lot of times it'd be right. A lot of times it'd be right. They just don't like it. Listen, man, we done seen enough stuff to where we can pretty much predict a lot of things at this point. And regardless, we still going to talk about general situations that happen. Even if it's not right, it's a great opportunity to bring up still something that's problematic that happens a lot. Happens so much that if I had to bet, I would bet that I was right. But I'm not a betting man. But what did we just discover as well? I told you it was a girls' trip, didn't I? I said they wasn't looking to go visit family or nothing. It wasn't a wholesome trip. And then where are they at? They're literally in the central hub of the girls' trips in the hot girl summer. They're in Miami, Florida. I could really already tell by the fact that she was so lazy to just put that robe on and everything. They've been partying, they've been turning up. I could tell. That's like the starter kit. She was probably out drinking last night and woke up with a hangover. She's like, put this robe on, let's go to the airport. Lack of discipline. Just out here looking crazy. Just at the airport with the robe on. Just crazy. Imagine me, a grown man, just walking around the airport with a robe on. You don't know if I got no drawers on. But listen, I told you. They put everything on the line to be able to take this little weekend girls trip. And yeah, anything else, any added expense, especially we talking about Miami, because you're going to have to stretch it out a little bit further if you want to get some type of an affordable flight. And so that would mean you would still have to pay for room and board. And so you got to spend some other nights in a hotel, whatever. Or you just going to have to pay a lot of money for a more expensive hotel. They're broke. Their account says zero, probably negative. And so this is an emergency. They really don't know what they're going to do. And notice how both of them are broke. Ain't that something? It can't even be one friend be like, well, girl, I'll pay for your ticket this time. I got it. I know you don't got it. They both broke. So we can highlight now and we can see a situation. What are the odds that they both broke, but they both decided to take a trip?
They have no money and do not live in Miami. The officer stands firm, stating he cannot allow them to remain in the terminal screaming at everyone. He clarifies that their disruptive behavior caused this outcome.
Nobody's sitting here screaming at nobody. Y'all gonna have a reason to lock me the up.
This is your reason. Your behavior is the reason.
Yeah, it is. You go helping me.
You are disrupting everybody here.
You guys gotta leave the airport.
After issuing a formal trespass warning, the deputy orders them to leave immediately. Outraged, the sister grabs her luggage, screaming about how they are abandoning two women in an unfamiliar city, demonstrating absolute disbelief at the strict law enforcement decision.
Didn't I tell you? Remember I told you how people will use certain manipulation things that they've seen work throughout their whole time? Didn't I tell you what people will do? And you'll be like, see, they're getting desperate. So it's so obvious what type of manipulation tactic they're trying to do. But listen to that again.
Screaming about how they are abandoning two women in an unfamiliar city, demonstrating.
She's screaming about to the officer trying to shame him and manipulate him that he's leaving in abandoning, allegedly. That's what the narrator said. But I would assume that's what he highlighted from the conversation, that they're abandoning two women in an unfamiliar city. Look how they frame that. Ma'am, you abandoned yourself when you decided to go to an unfamiliar city with no money in the bank. And then even furthermore, when you decided to dress inappropriately at the airport, which if you don't know, you can at least, reasonable people would assume that could be a risk as far as you not being able to ultimately take the flight that you took. And then the further irony is the fact that you are broke with a Versace robe on. Maybe that's why you're broke. How you buying Versace robes and you're broke? We can't make this up. This is what we prioritize. We'll prioritize a Versace robe before we prioritize actually having something in the bank, for real.
The sister grabs her luggage, screaming about how they are abandoning two women in an unfamiliar city, demonstrating absolute disbelief at the strict law enforcement decision.
And then when somebody end up dead because y'all like two females go out of Miami and don't know where the they going. Cause
Do you want a police report? Do you want a police report?
Y'all stop talking to me, like for real.
We're the only.
Why am I not getting the flight?
All right, let's watch the last one. But while we're watching this, because I just want to make another point, man. I want to make another point because it's like I'm looking up here. How much is a Versace robe? It says Versace robes typically range from around $500 to over $1,500, depending on the style and fabric in the collection. Let me see if it'll. I'm pretty sure her specific robe, though, is one of the more expensive ones. I'm going to be honest. I think hers, the one that she has, is pretty much at the top of the price scale. But I mean, they say 500, but I mean, ain't nothing really starting at 5. Oh, we found it. Okay, well, I'm gonna be real. Hers is not at the top of the price scale. It's not. But if you're curious, I found her exact robe. Hold on, let me put it up here. Let's see. Oh man. So here's her exact robe. You see it? Hold on. This is literally her exact robe right here. And you probably can't see it, but it is $575. $575. And these are the priorities. Don't got no money in the bank, but got a Versace robe. Dang. I think I messed up. Oh, here we go. I try to keep it rolling, y'all. I try to, if I don't know if y'all noticed, you don't see no cuts in my videos. My videos literally are like I'm live. I don't make no edits to nothing. Start paying attention to other content creators. I think you're gonna see a lot of cuts, especially while they talking.
Answers to.
You can't tell me why I'm being detained. That's illegal as hell. Why is I'm being detained,
My
sir?
suggestion is you
Why am I
calm
being
down.
detained? And then you tell somebody they love.
The situation escalates as the woman in the pink robe sits on the floor, claiming her detainment is illegal. Meanwhile, her sister, carrying her luggage towards the exit, fiercely argues with the airport police, completely stunned by the unfolding chaos.
I'm not, and I'm gonna record because y'all not making no case on me about yelling, baby. You literally, there's free speech in the world. It is free speech. It's free speech. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not being disorderly. I'm not.
Did she not hear that the airport is private property? This can be free speech in the world, but I think you would understand if a chick that you don't like, or maybe you got a baby father and it's his new girlfriend. Would you want her to just come in your house and start yelling? Or are you going to protect her free speech if she come in the house and start yelling and opposing you because she don't like you? No. So ma'am, please cut it out. Can we come back into reality?
I'm not being disorderly. I'm not being disorderly.
Despite the officer's warnings, the woman refused to back down. She insists she isn't yelling, claiming her voice is naturally loud and that she is simply exercising her right to free speech rather than causing any disorderly conduct.
My person move. What you telling me about yelling?
Her voice is naturally loud.
Don't know, like y'all, this is some fucked up ass shit. It really is. This is really fucked up and sad. She needs to give me, the lady on Spirit told me I had to get my refund from her.
Okay.
She said I have to get, why are you grabbing me?
The conflict reaches a breaking point when the officers suddenly move to arrest the sister.
Didn't I tell you? It's people like this that you have to just take action. They're not going to understand until you put hands on them. And so now, from my experience, people are going to say, oh, you assuming. Yep, I'm assuming. My assumption is now that they're putting hands on them, I think they're going to start acting right, because that's typically what I see. I don't mind being wrong, but I would bet that they're going to start acting right now. And then what we'll find is that they knew how to act the entire time.
The conflict reaches a breaking point when the officers suddenly move to arrest the sister. Shocked and confused, she questions why she is being grabbed and taken to jail just for talking, nervously laughing in utter disbelief.
My thing, that's what it was. I was just talking to you. I was just talking to you, and now you taking me to jail. Girl, that's crazy. I was just talking to you. I'm having a conversation with you.
Calm down, okay?
I thought her voice was naturally loud. Let's compare it.
The situation escalates as he's stunned by the unfolding chaos.
I'm not, and I'm gonna record because y'all not making no case on me about yelling, baby. You literally, there's free speech in the world. It is free speech. It's free.
As her sister is taken into custody, a deputy
Just talking to you. I'm having a conversation with you.
Calm down, okay?
Listen, he can't even tell me why I'm being detained.
You're behaving.
As her sister is taken into custody, a deputy attempts to de-escalate the situation with the remaining woman. He clearly points out that her aggressive behavior is the issue, but she stubbornly denies it, insisting she is completely calm.
We're giving you an opportunity to leave on your own and take her back, okay?
Can y'all might as well take me to the police station because that's where I'm going. I'm not saying arrest me, but can I at least have a ride to the police station?
No, because I can't take you to the police. I could only take you to jail.
Look, she can't even afford an Uber to go pick her friend up. See, now y'all already had some action items as far as how you was going to get home. See, what you're not thinking about is if you get banned from the airport, then now you're really going to have a hard time getting home. Now you got to drive the whole way. But now, before you can even start thinking about how to get home or get some shelter, now you also have to solve the problem of getting your friend out of custody, because she's going is what it looks like. But notice now she's acting right all of a sudden. Now she can have a conversation without moving around and being aggressive. It always happens like this.
I'm not saying arrest me, but can I at least have a ride to the police station?
No, because I can't take you to the police. I could only take you to jail.
No, I ain't trying to go to jail.
The officers offer the woman a file chance to leave freely with her sister's belongings. Realizing the severity of the situation and wanting to avoid jail, she finally decides to comply while still broadcasting the entire incident live.
Okay, pick up your
I don't
stuff.
want to have any more dealings with y'all. This is crazy.
to get a
He just
taxi.
told me I was detained and I'm not even doing it.
But I need you to leave. If
Literally.
not, you're gonna have to live with your sister.
Y'all weird as hell out here. Y'all weird. And all this over a pair of shorts.
Ultimately, the sister was charged with disorderly conduct and trespassing. A chaotic end to an airport dispute sparked.
Y'all love calling people weird when meanwhile you do the most weirdest things. Do you know what weird means? That means unconventional. That means you go against the norm. That's pretty much what weird means. Do you think it's normal or do you think that is weird to wear a Versace robe to the airport and you broke? To me, it's weird to prioritize buying a $600 robe before you actually secure $600 in the bank in case of an emergency. That's weird to me. But she'll probably say I'm weird. Well, I guess I'm gonna keep getting these weird outcomes then, and you can keep getting your normal outcomes. Yeah, you might be right. In this generation, in this society, being responsible and taking personal responsibility, you might be right. That's kind of weird now. That's outside the norm. But I prefer it over on this side. I don't know about y'all. I prefer it over on this side, on the weird side, I guess. I'll be weird. That's cool. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And also, if you want to become a member of the channel as well, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with, you will get badges next to your comments that will show people that, excuse me, that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you will get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.